Hey everyone, it's Christian here.
And Tanya from the Student Success Center.
And Elaine from Lions New Media Center in Mills Library. And today we are going to be showing you how to transform your black and white Times New Roman resume into a professionally designed masterpiece that can endure the ATS.
ATS stands for Applicant Tracking System. A lot of major job application portals use bots to filter through resumes by searching for keywords. By uploading a Word document rather than a PDF, it will ensure these bots can read all the content on your resume, so nothing gets skipped.
So you want to develop a creative resume, but are afraid that the applicant tracking system is going to skim through some of your content? Keep watching and we'll show you how to overcome this. You'll be surprised at what you can do in Microsoft Word. Before we get started, Tanya's going to share some of her top resume tips that will help you get your words onto paper in a logical way.
Tips for optimizing your resume for an applicant tracking system. Use keywords from the job description or job posting and integrate them well into your application. Don't just simply list them, because once it gets in front of a human, it'll look like everybody else. So essentially you're writing for two audiences, a computer and a human reader. The task is to get past the bot to get to the human, and you're writing for both audiences, so we want to make sure that you're using a format that'll appeal to most. Use something that's fairly simple. Avoid using text boxes, tables, or graphics, and any information in headers and footers that is necessary. There are varying levels of sophistication with these bots, and it's very challenging to know which ones will be trained to pick up which information, so it's best to just err on the side of caution, and the simpler the better. For more tips on optimizing your resume for applicant tracking systems, visit our tip sheet.
Hopefully those tips will be helpful as you write your resume. Now let's show you how to transform your resume into a professionally designed document. We grabbed this screenshot off of Canva Pro as our inspiration for this design, just to show you how you can make Word documents look just as good. Alright, so here is a plain resume. It's not bad at all, but let's make it look a little bit better. The first thing I'm going to do is check that the styling has been applied to each of the headings. So I'm going to open up the Styles panel, just popping that open, and I'm going to click throughout the document to see which heading styles have been used. Alright, I can see that quite a few have been used, and what we're going to do is modify these heading styles to match the design in that Canva Pro screenshot. So let's just work our way through the document, starting with the first and last name title. So beside title in the Styles panel, click on that drop-down arrow and select Modify. Here we're going to indicate what font we want to use in this text style. We are going to choose what's called a sans serif font. So sans serif means that the font doesn't have those little feet and kind of hands on the letter forms versus serif fonts. So serifs are what those feet and hands are called. And sans serif fonts are seen to be a lot more legible, and they are a little bit more modern looking if you're looking for that kind of style in your design. So the font we're going to be using in this document style is okay, you can stay here for a little bit, is Open Sans Condensed. So I'm going to type that in. All right, I'm going to adjust the size to 26 and we're going to make it bold, and we are going to go to Format and Font to make it all caps. And then under Advanced, we are going to adjust the spacing to expanded by 1.5 points. just to match the styling in our inspiration image. So I'm gonna hit OK, and then OK again, and there we go. Next, I'm going to work on the subtitle. Oh man. Clicking on that arrow, I'm going to go to Modify. I'm going to change the font to Open Sans Light. Adjust it to 12. And then go to Format, Font, make it all caps as well, and see if it's expanded. Okay, it's expanded already. We're okay. Hit OK and OK again. Now that one's updated. The next is heading 1. So again, we'll modify that. The font will be Open Sans Condensed Light. And then size 12. We're going to make it bold and change the color to black. Under Format, Font, we'll go and make it all caps as well. And then under Advanced, we will expand it by 1.5 points. We'll hit OK. We're also going to go to Format, Border. We want to add the green kind of background to the font. So that's under Shading. And then Fill. We'll go to More Colors, because under Custom here, we can enter in our own color values. So this one, I use an eyedropper tool to sample the screenshot. So this one is for red, it's 208. Green, it's 215. And for blue, it's 204. There we go. Hit OK. For the pattern, we'll leave that blank because we don't want a pattern. We want just a solid color. And then apply to paragraph is good. And then we'll hit OK. OK again. And now you can see all those heading 1s throughout the document have the green background. All right, the next heading is heading 2. So we'll go and modify that one. We'll change the font to Open Sans Condensed Light as well. Size 10, and we are going to make this one bold. Adjust the color to black, go to Format, Font, all caps. Advanced, we are going to expand it as well by 1.5. Okay. Hit OK, and OK again. Awesome. This might seem a bit tedious at first, but all you have to do is update each of the styling once, and then you can see it automatically applies it to the rest of your document. So it kind of saves you work in the long run. The next styling is called Emphasis. So we're going to modify that one. Again, we're going to change it to Open Sans Condensed Light, right? Size 10. We don't want it to be bold. We also don't want it to be italic. And then we're going to go to Format, Font, and again, all caps, and expanded by 1.5 points. And then OK to save it. Awesome. It looks like we pretty much have everything done except for just the normal paragraph text. So if I click on some of that text, it's showing me that it's the normal style. So we'll click on that arrow and then go to Modify. do the same thing, open sans condensed light. We're going to make this size 10, and that should be good. Hit OK. Awesome. All right, so it looks like all of our text is looking great. Now we just need to adjust the layout of the document. So I'm going to close this style panel. We won't need that right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to layout at the top of Word, then margins, and then narrow, just to kind of make it have a little bit more space on the page, especially when you're writing a resume. You really want lots of space, right? The next thing we're going to do is do some custom columns. So in the inspiration design, there is a narrow column to the left and then a more wide column to the right. So we're going to be doing that. To do it, we're going to select columns at the top. And then instead of going and clicking on two, instead of doing that, we're going to click on more columns. So because we want custom widths, we're going to do it this way. So we're going to adjust the number in the box to 2, but we're going to uncheck equal column width just so we can have the varying column widths. The first column, the width, we're going to set to 2.5 inches and then adjust the spacing to 0.3 inches. And that leaves our second column to be 4.7 inches. And then you hit OK. Great, so we have our columns. Now we're going to insert what's called a column break to, at a certain point, to just bump content over to the second column. So we want that to happen right at profile. So placing the cursor after the www.website.com, we're going to go select breaks and then select column. And what this did is just bumped everything else over to the right-hand column. So I'm going to give this a save, and then I'm going to send it over to Christian, and he will take it away from there.
So thanks, Elaine. The document's looking really good for now. I think all we need to do is just kind of add the background and change a little bit of the spacing, and it'll match our Canva copy perfectly. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So the first thing we're going to do is kind of add the background. So we're just going to go up to the logo here and add a little line break, space, and add this in here. So let's go to the Insert tab, Insert Pictures from this device. I saved it onto my desktop, so we'll go there, and I put it in Resume Design, Background, Insert. So let's right click this here and let's edit the alt text. And what we're going to do is we're going to mark this as decorative so that this way any screen readers, they're going to skip right over it. So we're going to do that. Let's go to the wrap text option, and we're going to put that in behind text. I'm going to shift click to expand this out. Cool, and that's looking pretty good. We're just going to go position, more layout options, and we're going to lock the anchor here. Cool, so now that that's done, let's go to the adjust spacing section. So if we're going to be adjusting the spacing, we've got to click on one of these things here, and we're going to pop out the styles. So we're going to go to title, modify, format, paragraph, and what we're going to do is we're going to change the before to 26 point and the after to 36. Now you can change these to whatever you think is going to look best, but just going in line with the Canva copy, this is the most consistent with that template. Cool, so that one's done. We're going to go to the subtitle section, which is title here for title. We're going to do the same thing, modify, format, paragraph, and we're going to change that from before to 6, and then the after to 36. Cool, and we'll set that as OK. So that gives us a nice little spacing. What we're going to do is we're going to highlight just the contact here. We're going to go to the shading option and put in no color, as it did have those bars as in profile and education. So we're just going to get rid of that there. That's going to be kind of nice. Then we're going to go to the normal tab, which is here. We're going to pop that open. We're going to modify, format, paragraph, And what we're going to do is don't add space between paragraphs of the same style, so that this way those are kind of nice and together. And what we're going to do there is we can put the before to 0 but the after to 12. Cool. So yep, so that should be nice there. And then if you want for the heading 1, what we can do is we can pop this thing out, we can modify format, paragraphs, and let's go 12 and 12. Let's try that. And let's see, yep, so that's looking good. Okay, so that completes the design. We'll be sharing this template in the description below, so you can download this to use as you please. So feel free to change any of the colors or text options to kind of suit your style. Stay tuned for the next episode of the series where we will show you how to design your own logo that you can include on your resume. Bye for now.